Hey guys, how are you? Day 19 T28 challenge. So a couple of days ago, I had a video and you saw that I submitted some testing in order to measure my cortisol levels. So I measured actually two hormones using saliva. One was cortisol, the other one was known as DHEA. And these hormones work opposite of one another. Cortisol is a stress hormone. Cortisol is really good when it's acute, when a bear is chasing you. However, if you're under constant chronic stress, cortisol can be really bad for you. So high levels of cortisol can actually cause weight gain, can cause cellulite, start to disrupt your sleep, lower your energy, can eventually lead to things like anxiety, depression, can start to interfere with your thyroid. And another hormone that I measured, it's called DHEA. DHEA, also produced by the adrenal glands. When cortisol is high, DHEA is actually going to start going low. And this hormone is actually a precursor to your sex hormones. Things like testosterone in men or estrogen, progesterone in women. So when stress goes high and cortisol is high, DHEA goes low. And what can happen is in men, you can have problem building muscle. You just don't have that, that special something that you used to have when you were 20 or 25 years of age. So I actually measured my cortisol to see where it was at, and I also measured my DHEA. So I'll actually go over with you my results and actually what they mean. This is actually my saliva cortisol. And so what you actually see here is that my first measurement that I took, we did this on a Sunday, so it was at about a little after 8 o'clock. So you can see that my cortisol levels are within basically a normal range. And then by 12, they're supposed to go down. You can see it's within a normal range. But something interesting happens when you see here and when you see here. You can see that my cortisol levels actually stay elevated. And what that means is when people's cortisol stays elevated at night, we call these people tired and wired. And what those type of people are is those people typically will have some energy issues, particularly in the morning, and then their energy actually goes up a little bit at night, and they may have some problems falling asleep at night. So you can see that my cortisol is a little bit out of whack, particularly at night. Now, the other hormone that I measured was my DHEA. So this is the precursor, especially for me, to testosterone. And you can actually see that according to my age, my DHEA levels are actually pretty high still. And this makes sense because of a couple of different reasons. Number one, the way in which I exercise will keep this hormone up. And number two, specific supplements that I take in order to keep this hormone at a high amount. Now, I also take specific supplements to make sure my cortisol doesn't get out of whack. Which means looking at this amount of stress that I'm under, it means that some of those supplements and things like that are working pretty well. In fact, 90% of doctor's visits, according to the CDC, says those doctor visits are due to the chronic effects of stress. I'll show you the specific supplements that work really, really well as far as getting your cortisol under control and making sure that DHEA stays elevated, particularly in men. So, hey, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you on day 20 of the T28 challenge.